Hey, everybody, I'm Terri Jeffries, manager of Express Offers Development.
Hey everyone, it's Julie Rasmussen, the Express Offers Program Manager.
Hey everybody, it's the other Julie out here in Seattle, Washington. Number one fan of Express Offers.
Number one
Still in
agent.
the number one agent, number one fan, and still wearing, we were just joking. Yes, we're on a roll today. So we're all wearing the same thing because we just recorded the other video 2 minutes ago.
That's
All
right.
right. So give us a break. We're just trying to get it out to you guys here, right?
That's right. So our title of this video for your viewing pleasure is, okay, you got a seller on the phone. Now what?
Now what?
Now what?
Actually, frankly, this goes for any lead, right? Any lead, because an express offers lead, as we said in the other video, express offers is the ultimate listing tool. So essentially, at this point, there's no difference than any other lead you would generate. You know what I mean? Think about it. Don't overthink it. What would you say to anybody else?
Okay, well, let's break it down then. So now what? What's the end game? Now what? What are you supposed to do?
Now you're trying to get an appointment, right? You want to convert your conversation to an appointment. We want to get over there. And once we get over there, this is where I think people make a mistake. Okay. I'm jumping ahead just for a second, then we're going to go back. Your point is to respond to the message. You had a cash offer message, right? That's how you got this contact, right? And so just be sure when you finally do get in front of them that you're spending the first 10 minutes or whatever only talking about that. Even though you know in your head, because you're going to have a great conversation with them, which we're about to talk about, you know that most likely it's not a cash offer situation. We don't care. We're there to give them information so all the sellers are fully informed of what their options are. But just because we know they have more options, we need to remember to focus on responding to what got us into the conversation in the first place. So don't go start talking about all the rest of the options until you've responded to the cash offer message, which is what got you this particular conversation on the phone,
Right.
Or over text. It might even just be over text, right? They might just be like, yeah, my house address is this. I'm thinking I want to sell for cash. And then you would just simply write back, great, can I come by tomorrow at 2 and take a look? It could be that simple, right? Don't sweat it. It could be that easy.
So this video, we want to talk about we've got them on the phone. So tell us the line you gave us in the last video, Julie, about all we need to say to them to get the call back.
Right. So as a recap of all you're going to say, the lead pops into your text or your email or your KV Core or wherever. And all you're going to say is, hey,
you said
Terri,
phone and text.
Yeah, phone, text, email, because you're most likely going to get all three of those contacts from your lead generator. And you're just going to say, hey, Terri, this is Julie Clark with Express Offers. I just got notified of your potential interest in selling your home on 39th Street, potentially for cash. When's a good time to talk? I'm just contacting you to follow up. Right?
Hang up. Okay.
Or whatever. Then
I'm the seller.
You keep calling them, first of all, until you get them, or they call you back, or they text you back. And once you're actually on the phone with them, right, you're just going to say, hey, Terri, yeah, my understanding is that you're interested in a potential cash offer for your property. Do you mind if I ask you a few questions? And
yeah, Julie, I saw your door hanger. And so thanks for dropping that off. As a matter of fact, we may be interested in a cash offer. And so I was returning your call.
That sounds good. So do you mind if I ask you a couple questions?
No, that'd be great.
Good stuff. So what's the story? How come you're considering to sell your property?
Well, my husband is a technology executive, and he is taking a job in New York. And so we are going to have to transfer. Now, the plan is that he'll probably go out there first, and he's going to leave me behind by myself with 3 kids to sell our house and to get everything moved to New York. And so I'm just trying to figure out if a cash offer may allow me to go with him instead of being left behind to do all this by myself. I'm not really sure what to do.
Oh, that makes sense to me. So you guys already know where you're moving to, and you already have a place identified. Because frankly, I always find that the hardest part in real estate isn't actually the real estate part, it's the human part, right? People need to know where they're going, and they have to solve their life going forward, before they can get their home sold. So that makes sense to me why you might want to consider a cash offer, just so you can get out there sooner with your family.
Yeah,
That
luckily
sounds good.
my husband already went out and he had to interview, he had to get his job set up. All that's done. He had a friend of a family member out there that, we did find our home. So all of that part is set. But, I have to tell you, he's supposed to be in New York in 2 weeks. And because this all happened really quickly. And so I got to figure out what to do on this end because I really want to go with him.
Well, that sounds good. That sounds good. Let me ask you a couple questions about your house. Do you feel like there's anything you would need to do to, are there any like repairs that you think you need to make, or is your house in great shape? Have you updated your kitchen in the last 10 years? That just helps me kind of get an idea of if your home would actually qualify for a cash offer. So we just want
Yeah.
to make sure that you get fully informed on what that means. Because typically with a cash offer, an investor is going to be buying that. And these are questions they're going to want to have answered. So
Yeah.
have you guys been making any improvements to your home in the last few years, or
Well,
what's
our house was built in 2000. So, it's about 20, going on 21 years old. And, I have 3 kids and we live in our house. I'm not going to lie. We live in our house. And so, luckily we don't want to move all of this stuff, across the country. So I'm working on decluttering now, but, I've got to be honest. We've done a few things, put some new carpet in here and there and painted a couple rooms here and there, but the house definitely could use some updating.
Well, here's the good news. With a cash offer, one of the things that goes along with that is it's hassle free. So you actually might have the opportunity, if a cash offer was something that worked out for you and that number ended up working out for you, that you would literally be able to leave behind anything you don't want. You wouldn't even have to make dump runs or clean the house or do anything, make zero repairs.
What?
So yeah, there's a lot of buyers that are interested in the cash offer option just simply because it's so hassle free. So knowing that you already have somewhere to go and it's a hassle for you to manage all that on your own, the best idea would be simply just for me to come over, be real quick. I can come in and out in 15 minutes because I know you're busy, and we can assess the situation together. And I can fill you in more on, once I see your house, of what a cash offer might entail, or if your home qualifies for a cash offer, because
So you're
it does
telling
come with
me I
a
could
discount.
load my truck with just the things I want to take and leave the rest? Is that
I
what you
am
said?
telling you, yes, I am. That is definitely an option, right? Because that's the intent. The cash offer is meant to be hassle-free, low anxiety.
Wow, that'd be
That
so
you can,
convenient.
yeah, just take what you want, and you can get a cash offer and close maybe even as soon as in a couple of weeks, depending on the situation. So if that sounds good to you, I just need to come over there and check eyes on it, and maybe take a few photos, and with your permission, start uh, crunching the numbers for you on what the number might look like for a cash offer. How
Awesome.
about
Okay, Thursday at 2 would be great.
Thursday at 2 would be great. See you
Okay,
then.
bam, done. Done. That's fantastic. So you got the appointment. But what happens, Julie, if now, of course, I was playing that obviously to, the ears of the convenience side of this.
Yes.
And wouldn't you agree that a seller with that kind of scenario would probably lean more heavily towards the convenient option, right?
Yes, but they don't know what they don't know. So you're not really trying to. The only reason that you're almost asking these questions right now is so you yourself knows what the likelihood is, if it's going to be a cash, or if the house sounds a little too nice, or their situation, they might say something like, "Well, my neighbor's house just sold for 550 and my house is nicer." Then probably it's a retail sale. They'll say all kinds of that depending on their personalities, right? I think there's always 4 types of personalities. We'll save that for another day too. But usually I try and control the conversation, and I don't know that I totally care about like the layout or the details of their house. What I'm trying to find out is, when's the last time you made any improvements to your house? And in our area, I want to know, did you, is your basement finished or is it unfinished? Because we have a lot of
You know what?
basements in our area.
I'm gonna jot some of these down because these are great questions that you should be
Right.
asking. So what did you just say? You said you don't really want to know about the layout of the house. The questions you're
I mean,
asking.
I don't say that to them, but really this is an intelligence gathering conversation for me, to help me understand where I'm going to pivot to if it's not a cash offer house, which most likely it's not. Okay. And
Julie,
so
I was
I'm
gonna say,
basically,
would you actually go online and take a quick, look at their house
yes.
before you call them back?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Right. So I always pop into Realist and I look and I see, how many floors are there? Like I said, in my area, we have basements, and sometimes
Yeah.
the basements are finished or not finished. And was it listed before? You could even find whether or not it was listed for. You might have old photos. And sometimes you might say, yeah, I've seen the older photos of your house. Have you made any improvements, since you bought the house? I saw the photos from when you purchased it, 15 years ago. Have you made any improvements? These are all things that we need to consider with a cash offer. So when's the
Oh,
last time that
let me. Yeah, let me ask you though. So
these
let's
are the
talk about.
things we
Let's
need to
talk.
consider with a cash offer as your excuse for asking.
Yeah, well, that's great. And I want to expand on that real quick. But just from a practical standpoint, you really should do that creeping, that intelligence, if
Yes,
you will, before you leave the message, right? Because what happens if you leave the message and they turn around and they call you right back and you
yes.
have no information whatsoever?
Yes, I always creep, if you want to call. I always do my homework.
Creep.
Just takes a second, right? Beforehand, because I might get lucky and there's photos of a previous listing. I also,
Or
me
they
personally,
might answer the phone.
yeah, well, me, I don't care about that because I like to talk, as you guys can tell. But what I'm saying is that it's all good. So I'm not asking this to I'm asking this for intelligence gathering. So I know whether it's really going to maybe be a cash offer or if I need to be prepared to, once I get there, transition them down the road, a straight line, to a potential converting to a listing. And I want to know that before I get there. And how am I going to figure that out before I get there if I'm going in blind?
Questions.
I'm going to
Good
ask
question.
them questions, right? And if somebody says, well, my roof is 20 years old, right there you go, okay. And you just say, well, the great thing about a cash offer is that, you don't need to worry about any repairs but, in the instances, if you were to list for sale, a bank is going to want that roof to have at least 5 years life left on it, right? That's the option. And the great thing about a cash offer, we don't have to worry about any of that, right? Even if your house has water getting into the basement or you have drainage issues, we don't care about that. All we need to do is identify it, right?
Yeah.
So I'm
So
asking,
so wait a minute. Wait, you're telling me, I'm a new agent still. You're telling me that I don't need to sell myself, sell my company, tell you
no,
how many houses I've sold in the last 12 months and how much money I've made and what kind of car I drive. And you mean all I need to do is ask these probing questions and then shut up?
right. Right. And the thing is that you're asking these questions with the excuse of, this is the type of information that we gather to assess whether your home qualifies. This is a big word. This is like planting a seed so you can pivot later. Okay. Because
Mm,
they don't want to feel like a bait and switch. Okay.
exactly.
Okay. So you're planting the seed by using the words. I'm asking you these questions because these are the things that we need to know to determine whether your house qualifies for a cash offer, right? And so I just need to know a couple things like, how's your roof? Do you have double or single pane windows? And, if you have a basement in your house, you're going to know because you've looked it up, that whether they have a basement or not. And in Arizona, it might be like, how's your pool? Is your pool in good working? I don't know. Well, I don't live in
They have
Arizona, but
solar panels.
you guys are in your own market. Does your air conditioning work? I don't know. We don't have that in Seattle, but what we have in Seattle are roofs and basements. right? Which is all bad. Water, which means if they have problems with that, that might pivot the needle more towards a cash offer. If they say, oh, we just put our roof on last year, we have single pane windows, and we just, put new flooring in our house. Well, now you know likelihood that it's not going to be a cash offer in your mind. Okay, so you're
But
saying, oh,
one
Terri,
exception though, Julie, one exception is if it's a buy and hold, iBuyer. If you have a
um,
buy and hold iBuyer in your market.
actually, you need to determine, everybody, in your market. That's a great question.
Yep.
That is a price point thing. In my market, the only way a buy and hold works here in our expensive market in Seattle, which I know a lot of you are in expensive markets and some of you maybe not, but in my market, we have to flip to hold. We call it a burr. If you guys want to learn all about that, contact me, right? It's that you flip to hold, and that's the only way to make it pencil for a buy and hold in an expensive market. Okay, unless you've like
So
inherited the property or something.
let's just recap real quick. And Julie Rasmussen, that was a great point to bring up.
That was a
So
great question.
yeah, so buy and hold, you guys, remember, they're looking for houses that just need lipstick on the pig, right? They want to buy it at little under fair market value, not much under, okay? They want to put some paint and they want to put some carpet in and they want to put a tenant in it. But the numbers have to make sense. When Julie Clark's refers to penciling, they're looking for usually for about a 10% gross rental yield or a 1%. What the guy tell us yesterday? 1%. So if the house is worth
It's the 1%
$200,000,
rule.
yeah, the house is
Yeah.
worth $200,000. They need $2,000 for the rent. Okay.
Yeah.
And in Julie Clark's market, that's not going to work because the price points are too high. In my
Right.
market,
So we force it in my market by
Mhm.
flipping it to hold.
Right.
Yeah.
So good point though. You need to pay attention to the buy boxes you have available to you, and might change this conversation that you have to have.
And remember, pretty houses can be paid cash for too, right? We call them pretty houses where there's really nothing wrong with them, but they're relocating or they have some reason they need to sell the house fast and they're willing to take a discount, because they have a need. So it really, and the point is you have to listen. What are the needs of these sellers? We are licensed. We no longer should we be called licensed real estate agents. We should be called licensed real estate solutions providers. That's what we should be
Ooh,
called, right?
solutions providers.
Right, because just it doesn't really matter sort of what somebody's house looks like. It matters what their personal situation is,
I'm going to get
right?
a cape that says solution provider.
Right. It's really, I mean, we kind of been focusing on tell us about your house a little bit, but in reality, this is advanced, this can go way advanced. It really doesn't matter what their house is like. It matters what their personal situation is. So it could be a distressed house, it could be a just cosmetically outdated house, it could be a pretty house. All those things might qualify for a cash offer. The house doesn't qualify for the cash offer. The personal situation of the seller is what qualifies for the cash offer, guys.
Convenience versus top dollar. We talk about it
Hassle
over and
free.
over.
Right.
To Julie Clark's point, she is going to structure and format questions so that before she actually even gets to the door, she's going to be able to determine pretty consistently whether they want convenience or top dollar. Is that a fair statement, Julie?
Yes, but what I want to do, my goal is to get the appointment in the house. I'm not going to give them any options over the phone because that's not what they contacted me for. They contacted me because they were interested in a cash offer situation. So I am only going to focus on that until I get there in person and I have basically taken the cash offer option with their agreement off the table as something that's not going to work for them. Only then will I start pivoting down the road to potential other options. So when I'm on the phone, my goal is to get the appointment. But since we're talking about a cash offer, I'm going to say, do you mind if I ask you a few questions to see if your home qualifies? Because if you use that, it allows you then to pivot once you get there because their home didn't qualify for the cash offer. Okay. It's
That's
like
money, girl. That is
yeah.
money.
It's like kind of covering yourself that you didn't do a bait and switch on them so you can continue the conversation once you get there. Okay, so you're on the phone and you're going to say, mind if I ask you a few questions? See if your home qualifies for a cash offer, right? These are the things that we're going to know when we need to know when we're, crunching the numbers to get your cash offer price. So, how's your roof?
Julie, you mentioned how's your roof because you're in Seattle and that's what your market dictates, but would it be prudent for an agent to know what buy boxes are available to them and then maybe structure questions based around the buy box? Would that make sense in
I
terms
would
of,
say don't limit yourself to that, but yes,
okay,
that would be good to know. I mean, again, you're not thinking of this at this point, guys, as an express offers situation. This is a lead. That could be any situation. You could convert it to a listing. You could sell it off market to some buy hold investor that's not in the buy box. If you're plugged into your local investment community, you could do anything. So yes, it's good to know what the rules are of your buy box, just simply to know if they fit into the buy box, but otherwise you don't care because it's just a lead like any other lead. It just, you have to respond to the message of the cash, that their interest was a cash offer. So yes, I would know that, right? To know if you should then move forward and down the road and submit it or not, right? But what
right,
if you can't? What if their house doesn't fit one of the buy boxes? Who cares? It's still a lead and you
yeah,
can still, that's not the point. The point isn't whether you can put it in the buy box. That's like a bonus if it works out to fit in one of the buy boxes, if you ask me. Then you have a marketplace of cash buyers if the home qualifies for a cash offer. But if it doesn't, what I'm intelligence gathering is not whether it fits into a buy box. I'm intelligence gathering on my phone call to decide what my path and my plan is on how I'm going to steer the conversation once I get there.
that's right.
Okay?
Okay, so
Yeah.
let's go back and summarize and then we'll go ahead and wrap up. So basically, you're going to leave the message and you're going to ask them to call you
Oh, I
back.
thought you were gonna look at the property online first to get the
Yes.
details.
First,
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
going to
yeah.
look at the
That's
property.
right. Thanks, Julie.
I'm
Yep.
going to see what kind of pre-intelligence I can gather by
Okay,
taking a
pre-intelligence.
quick look at the property. I'm not looking for an hour. I'm looking to see, was it listed old? Can I see any photos or any photos on Zillow? Me personally, I'm looking to see if they have any debt on the property because that tells me a lot about their situation. I'm looking to see how long they've owned the property because if they've been in there 20 years, they might have 20 years worth of crap in there.
Oh,
And that also lends to it. I'm just looking for data points. That's all.
that's right.
And maybe some photos, right? And what they paid for it. So I don't look stupid that I don't know anything about their property when I'm talking to them. Then I
Okay.
get them on the phone and I'm simply saying, that sounds great. Tell me about your house. What's the situation? How come you've decided to sell your house? And then they're going to tell you and they're going to reveal to you they're going to start revealing their situation to you. This is when you're paying attention real hard. They will begin to reveal their unique situation to you. And that is where the gold lies, right? Do they have somebody already where to go? Because if they don't, they might not be moving for a long time if they haven't even thought about where they're moving, right? So
Yep.
it's always good news if they know where they're going. That's also an opportunity for you to figure out, maybe you might have a buyer opportunity. You might be able to help them as a buyer. You're listening as they're telling you their story. Then you're going to say, do you mind if I ask a few questions that we need to decide whether your house is going to qualify for a cash offer or not? Sure. Okay. They're going to say sure. And then you're going to say, well, tell me, have you made any improvements to your house in the last, 5 or 10 years? And, whatever in your market are then the things that would be important, right? You don't really care what the answer is. You're simply intelligence gathering so you can decide, you know what, this sounds like more of a retail house. They might say, and my neighbor's house just sold next door for 550 and my house is bigger and nicer. Well, you already know they care about price then. They're
Yes, that's right.
analytical. And they're telling you they're not going to take a discount by saying something like that. So now you're like, okay, I'm gathering this information. Then you're going to say, the best thing for me to do, Terri, would just be to pop over for about 15 minutes, take a quick look. And I will then, be able to have all the information I need to come up with, what potentially a cash offer number might look like with
The
you.
best strategy for me?
No, no, I mean, they're not gonna say that. They won't say that. They're not gonna say anything. They're just gonna say,
No,
"Okay,
I'm saying
looks
you,
good."
you're going to
Yes,
develop the best strategy for them.
right. And
Yeah.
I'll tell you something. Here's another little hook thing that you guys all should say that is very subtle, but gives a lot of intelligence. At the end of the conversation, when I have the appointment, okay, Terry, that sounds good. Looks like Wednesday at 2 p.m. is going to work for you. And then I say, hey, quick question, Terry. If you don't get a cash offer that works for you, what's your plan B? Do you have like a friend or a family member that's going to help you get your home sold? Then is what's your plan B if cash offer doesn't work out? And that is much more subtle than asking, do you have an agent that you work with? Do you know any real estate? All I'm saying is, what's your plan B if a cash offer doesn't work out for you? Will you be listing with like your friend or one of your friends or your family members, or, maybe you've had a real estate agent and you're, what's the plan? And I don't know why they never give me grief about that. And they always answer it. They either say, yeah, my brother or my sister's an agent. Then you'll never get the listing most likely. Okay. Because it's a family relational thing. That's the hardest
But you're
situation.
going to go anyway.
You're going anyway
You
because,
bet you are.
yeah, you're going anyway because you don't know what's going to happen when you get there. But it's just
Because
about,
sometimes that's a defensive response. They're going to tell you their brother or sister is a realtor because they don't want you to come with that commission breath and be just
that's right.
hammering
That can
them,
be true. A
right?
lot of
Except,
times they say, I'm going to cross that bridge when I get there.
right,
Right. Then
right.
you're open. And the only reason you want to get that response, that subtle response out of them, is because that gives you, again, all these questions are about giving you your guidance and your path on how you're going to steer the question. If they answer like, yeah, my brother is an agent, then you have to tread lightly and you have to find a way to converse about it. I actually never go in there and say, let's talk about listings since cash offer is not going to work for you. Here are the golden words. You guys ready?
Golden words, drum roll.
Ready? This is what you do. When I walk in there, I'm prepared and I say, I talk about a cash offer. I say, I'm going to go over what a cash offer situation would look like now. But before we do that, conceptually, what I want to do is kind of just tell you how it works. Okay. Now, a cash offer is an offer that's going to be from an investor, and investors are in the business, or it's a business for them. So they need to make a profit, and therefore they need to buy homes at a discount. Okay.
Yeah.
And
You know
in
what,
your
Julie?
case,
I'm going to stop you because we need to do another video on the actual conversation with the seller once you get in the door.
I
You've
hear
done
you.
a you've done a great job of getting us the appointment. So tell me one more time, how are you going to bring that call home to actually get the appointment?
I'm going to bring that call home to get the appointment by simply asking the questions, right? The intelligence gathering questions. And then I'm going to say, again, we're going to use those words of, I'm asking so we can gather the information to see if your home qualifies for a cash offer. They're going to give you the information, and then you're going to say, that sounds good. I think I have enough information. All I need now is just to pop by for about 15 minutes. Thank you, Terry. That gave me the information I need to get started. And now the last part is I just need to pop by for about 15 minutes because I know you're busy, and just, lay eyes on the property real quick before I can crunch the numbers and give you a cash offer idea of what a cash offer might look like, which would include letting you know what your net proceeds might look like. Is it okay if I stop by for 15 minutes on Wednesday? You just go to it.
And
Ask
there
the
you
questions
go.
and then just ask for the appointment, right? And then I always say, okay, thanks, Terry. I'll see you on Wednesday. Quick question. What's your plan B? If a cash offer doesn't work out for you, do you have a plan B in mind? You have a friend or a family member that'll help you get it listed for sale? That's it. And then you leave. That's the last thing I
Okay,
always
thank
say.
you. Yeah.
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 And then I just say, okay, sounds good. I don't really care what they say. I'm just gathering information so I know how to steer my conversation when I get there, right? And then we're going to do another video, and probably we're going to change our clothes this time. But
Yeah. So this is it, guys. So we have talked to you about how to get the lead generated, actually get a lead in your, in your hand. We just finished telling you how to actually get the appointment. And so we'll do the third video in our series that's going to talk about what you're actually going to do at the appointment. So stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
Thank you very much for joining us. We hope you learned a lot. We always want to bring value. Please feel free to send Julie Rasmussen and I a chat if there's a topic that you would like us to talk about, and we'll get with our great agent Julie Clark out in Seattle and provide some content for you. So thanks, everybody. Have a great day, Julie Clark. Thank you.
Adios,
We
amigas.
appreciate you so much.
Love you back.
Thank you.